Hello, welcome to the 16th video of PrimeWorld's Photoshop tutorials. And in this video, we are going to be looking at the text tool. Okay, the text tool. Uh, it's this tool that has T on it, just to represent text or type. Okay, so how do we use it? You simply select that tool. Okay, and you can go to your workspace and begin to type. Now you can go to the properties bar to specify some settings. You can choose to pick the font type you want to use. Okay, so there are different font styles or font types that we have, and you can also download from online. Like good examples are dafont.com, dafont.com, and the likes. Okay, so yeah, so let's just say I want to use let's say, let me pick something bold so that you can see. Let's say I want to use Eras Bold ITC. Okay, so I can just come here and left click my mouse to be active on the text tool. And let's say I want to increase this is the font size. Okay, so you can set it to whatever size you want. I've set mine to 72. Take note, this is the maximum size on this list, but you can choose to set it to whatever size you want. You can come here and put 150, 500, and specify the size of the font you want. Okay, so yeah, so if I go ahead and just type this, so that you we are going to correct that, you can see. Now you can see that I typed on a new line, but you can see that it's not it's not the space between the first line and the second line is not enough. So you can see that it's intersecting. Now we can adjust this. First and foremost, if you want to adjust your color, you select all. Okay, how do you select all? You just left click and drag until you select everything, or you can just press Ctrl A and it selects everything. Okay, then you can come here to this properties bar and change it to another text. Okay, so you press OK. Now what if I wanted to increase the spacing between the lines, the lines? Okay, I go to this tool here that says A stands for character. Okay, if you don't have this tool on your Photoshop bar here, you can simply go to Windows and left click on character to make it visible, and it appears here. So all we need to do is making sure we are selected on our layer. Okay, we on our type layer, we choose the character, we open up the character pane. Okay, and just like we specified with this properties bar, you can see the font style or the font type, the size, but there are other options now that we can tweak. Now the option that increases or reduces the spacing between lines of a sentence, okay, or a phrase, is this one here. So I can choose to increase it. It's currently 36. I can choose to increase it to 72. And take note, you can see that it adjusted here, but it's clear that 72 is not enough. So if I come here and put something like 100 and I press enter, now you can see that it has spaced it, but this P is still intersecting, so we still need to space it more. If I come here and put something like 130 and I press enter, now this one is much better. There's no more intersection. So this option is to increase the spacing between individual lines of a phrase or sen ten ce. Now this option that says VA, this one is to increase the spacing between letters, okay, between letters of your sen ten ce or phrase. So you simply come here, it's currently set to -10, but if I open up this now, first and foremost I need to select all my text, okay, so that it can apply it by pressing Ctrl+A or just left clicking and dragging. Or if you don't want to select anything, just be active on the layer, select the layer. So you go here and you can choose to increase or reduce it. If I reduce it to -100, take note how compact the text has become because I reduced it to -100. If I increase it to 200, see how spacious it has become, okay. So that's the spacing between letters. That's what this one deals with, okay. Let's take it back to, let's say, 0. Now that's for those are the major settings that you tweak. Now if you want to make it like fox bold, if you want to make it bold, okay, you choose this option and it makes the text bold. It's different from this option here, it's just that because of the font I'm using is not active. You can make your text bold here, and you can also choose to make it bold here by selecting this one, and it will make it doubly bold, okay. Now if you want to italize your text, you press this one and notice how it has italiced, it is slanted. Now if you want to make your text all caps, you press this one and notice it's now, take note of the text, is now all caps. Let me shift this here, is now all caps, okay. Now if you want to make it small caps, you press this, but it's still sort of capital letter in a way, but it's small caps, it's not as big as the all caps, okay. You press that. If you want to make it a superscript, you press this and it makes it a superscript, okay. Now this one will be useful in case, let me type something extra. Let's say we wanted to type H2O and I press H2O, and you know the 2 is supposed to be a subscript, okay. So I come here and I press, you can see that I highlighted the 2. The first thing is to highlight what you want to make a subscript, okay. Then you press the subscript button and it makes it a subscript. If I wanted to say type 100 degrees Celsius, let's say something like this, I have to type another 0, but I want to make it degrees, okay. I can simply highlight it and make it a superscript, and it changes it to a superscript. So this is 100 degrees, okay. So yeah, so apart from this, you can also underline your text by pressing this and it underlines the text, okay. You can also press your strike through button and it strikes through the text. So these are the various major options you can choose to format your text, okay. Now before I call this video, before I call this close this video, there's one more thing I want to teach you. Now what if you wanted to restrict your text to a particular space, okay, you wanted to have more control of where your text will be, okay. Like let's say you wanted to just write your text around this portion, all you need to do is left click and drag, okay. Being on your text tool, left click and drag, and it creates this text, this box. This simply means that when you type your work, it will be restricted to this box. Okay, it will be restricted to this box. You can see that it has automatically entered a new line. Okay, so this is how you can, this is very useful, like if you want to create something like a newspaper or a magazine setting, you can specify where the font, the space the font should be in. Okay, so yeah, this is simply what you do. And going back to this character tool, there's also the option for paragraph. Okay, let me select my text tool and I go to paragraph. You can choose to make your text left align and take note of the adjustment. You can choose to make it centralized, take note of the adjustment. You can choose to make it right aligned. You can choose to make it left justified. You can choose to make it center justified. You can choose to make it right justified. Or you can just choose to justify everything. So these are the different paragraph settings you can have. Okay, and finally let me also show you the second tool of this text tool, which is the vertical type tool. When you use the vertical type tool, as the name implies, it just causes you to type vertically. Okay, so you can see that it's typing it in a vertical way. So yeah, so this is basically it for learning about using the type tool. I hope you've learned something meaningful and see you in the next